Welcome back to my workshop. Now today we're going to talk about what's in this package. Now this is coming straight from Amazon. Now if you've seen the thumbnail you would already know what it is, but basically what it is a rail square. Now it's used in conjunction with these things above me here, which are tracksaw rails. Okay, now this is a budget version. So what I want to do is open this and find out if I've wasted my money or if it's actually worth paying what I did. Okay, let's get this out of package and we'll have a close look. Okay, so let's get it out of package and see what we've got. Usual Amazon packaging, nothing too fancy, but in theory, very easy to open. That's it, okay. Nothing else in the box. So what we have here is a woodworking 90-degree right angle rail. Okay, 340 millimeters, professional woodworking tools. Okay, nothing else on there. Okay, looks quite small, but hopefully it's going to be big enough. All right, what have we got? Let's have a close look at this. All right, looks like most of it is made out of a single piece of aluminium. It's not badly machined. Yeah, okay, these two rails here, which you use to actually fit them to the rail, these are screwed in with some machine screws. So it looks like they could possibly be adjusted if it's unsquare. I'm hoping it's not going to be unsquare. And then you've got an over center clamp here. Okay, I'll show you how that works in a second. Feels all right, feels a little bit tinny, but then again, it is. Okay, so that's all you get. 340 millimeters is the length. The width is 90 mil. Okay, and the thickness is probably about 7 mil. Okay, and it's all aluminium. Very nice. Right, so the first thing, let's try and fit it on a rail. Okay, so the two type of rails I've got that I can use, one of them is this, which is a genuine Festool one, which is the FS 1400/2. Okay, so this is 1.4 meters long, genuine rail, very good, nice bit of kit. Okay, so how does it fit? So you turn the rail over like this. Now this and this, they should locate in here and against here. Okay, and then this clip holds it all together. So first of all, let's see if it actually slides on. Yeah, slides on. And it clips on. That's easy enough. Okay, it's quite solid. Let me show you that from the other side. Okay, from the top side, what you do is you take off your clamp there, slide that in like that. Then this little hook goes over the end lip and just clamps into place. All right, so in theory, this should be perfectly square. Let's have a quick check. Right, at first glance, that's nice. Nice and square. Okay, we'll prove that in a moment. Right, the second kind of, if I can get it off. Oh yeah, it comes off right. Right, the second kind of rail I have is this one, which is a Titan rail. Now this comes with my tracksaw. The profile is very similar to the Festool, and they're actually compatible. So you can actually use these rails with the Festool rails. So let's try it on this one, see if it fits. Undo my clamp. Slides on. Hooks on. Nice and solid. Excellent. All right, try it from the top. Slides on and clips on. Yeah, that works really well. Is it square? That looks square. Okay, the proof is going to be in the pudding. We'll try some cuts. Right, so that's basically how it fits. Yeah, pleased so far. Money well spent. Okay, so the basic question is, I've got my square. How do I use it? Now, I've got a piece of MDF here. That's what I want to cut. Now, all I do is I'm going to use the small Titan track because it's easier to wield around. Now, all you do is you literally put this up against one of your square sides, okay, and it gives you a right angle along here. Okay, let me give you a close-up. Okay, so here's my flat edge on here, this edge. Okay, I want to cut along here. So I take my rowel and I put this edge flat on here. Okay, so there's no gap here, and that gives us our right angle here. Okay, and then all you do is you run your saw along here, cut this edge, and then take it away again. Okay, so where's the benefit in that? Well, the way I normally do it is I measure however far I want to measure, say 70 centimetres. I measure it, I mark it on one side, then I measure it, mark it on the other side, then I draw a line, and then I put my track on it, okay, lining up the 2 points, or the line. Okay, but the error here is with me, because my measuring is not all that accurate. Okay, so you end up with the human error of not cutting it straight. You've only got to get that 1 mil out, and then it's going to not be at 90 degrees. Okay, but if we know this is 90 degrees anyway, we just have to measure once. Okay, put our mark, then put this on and line that up with our mark, and then we know that's going to be exactly 90 degrees. Okay, that's why you would use it, because us humans are not very good. Right, so in theory you could use this without using any clamps. Okay, normally you'd use clamps because these can slide. Okay, if the surfaces are dusty and these grippy tapes are becoming a little bit old, they can slide. So what you do is you use a special type of clamp. Now I've got some of these Axminster trade clamps. Okay, and all they do is they slide in this hole in the bottom, okay, and then they grip onto your material. Okay, I'll show you that right now. So the next question is, can you use these clamps with this guide? Now it should be fairly simple if we fit our guide. Okay, we're underneath now, fit our guide, because that fits nice and easily. Now if you look on here, there's a little groove out here, and the same on this side. Now in theory, haven't tried this yet, just about to try it. In theory, that should fit. Okay, so there's a groove to take this. Now, is that going to be too big? Let's find out. Right, so trying our rail here with the Axminster clamps. Now these have got quite a thin shaft on them. Slide them in. Okay, turn it over. Clamp it to the workpiece. And no. Now if you look here, there's a very tiny gap this end, contacting this end, gap this end. Okay, let me show you the reason for that. Okay, so this doesn't work. If the clamp is here, okay, and sits in this groove that's supposed to be for the clamp, once you actually butt up against your workpiece, so this is what it looked like from underneath, if you have this attempting to sit flat on here, okay, it will contact here, but it actually contacts the clamp here. Okay, so this throws out an error at this end here. Okay, there's a gap. So you can't use these, and these are quite thin. these Axminster clamps. I have another version of clamp, which is a cheaper version, okay, which in theory will be worse. Take those out, put this one in, okay, so this is even worse. Okay, so be very careful if you do want to use these with clamps. Obviously you can't clamp from this side because there's a bar in the way. Okay, so that's a bit of a fail. These need to be deeper, but they can't be deeper because they'll interfere with the rail here. Okay, that's a bit of a shame. Right, but you can still overcome this. Let me show you how. Okay, so if I still wanted to clamp it, okay, I can put my square against my material here, get a nice flush join here. Then I can take my clamp and I can actually put it from the other end, slide it in and clamp it here. Okay, so now this is fairly sturdy, it's square and it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, so you can overcome, it's just a shame you can't put them in from this end. Okay, let's try and cut something. So before we cut something, we've got it clamped at the back here. Let's undo that. And we've got it mounted on the front here. Why don't we slide this to the other end, clamp it up. This is square. Okay, then we can put our clamp this side. Okay, so that will stop it moving that way and it will stop it moving this way. Okay, but you must remember you put this against your flat side. Okay, so if one side is flat and the other side isn't, it depends on whether you'll be able to use it at the back or the front. Okay, but so there's ways around it and that's quite secure. I quite like that. Okay, now let's cut something. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll follow my normal marking process, apart from instead of measuring once there and then once there, marking and then striking a line, I'm just going to measure one line, okay, or one measurement. Here we'll go for 70. Okay, so I only have one line. Get my track that I'm going to use. Fit my square. Okay, put it up against my line here. Make sure this is flat on here and insert my clamp from the other end. Okay, flush, clamped, tight, saw, mask, and then cut. Job done. Okay, so this is the corner we've just cut. So in theory, this should give us a nice right angle. Which it does, look at that. That's nice. Okay, so does it work? Yes, it does. Right, one thing I have noticed, let me show you. Right, if you're going to use this without a clamp, once you put it on, okay, put it nice and square, this can tip. Okay, this is not very heavy, but it's possible that that can tip. Okay, and that obviously moves your cutting edge. You don't want that. So I should imagine there's a little screw hole here. There's nothing to stop you putting a small plate across here, okay, that locates on here, and that will stop it tipping down. Okay, some of the more premium brands have got something like that, or they've got a slide that slides over the top. Okay, this hasn't, but there's nothing to stop me doing that. But if you clamp it into place from the other end, obviously, Once it's clamped into place, okay, you minimise that. It can still move, okay, but you have to push down on it, okay. But it's just one thing to watch out for. Other than that, I'm impressed. Right, can I use it without the clamp? All right, so this time I'm just going to literally get it, put it on. Yeah, little bit of tip there if you're not careful. Right, so there's just one thing to bear in mind. If you don't clamp it, even though it's nice and square, okay, you can have issues like that. Now, don't get me wrong, that would be only in a case like this, okay? If you're cutting a short distance and you've got a very short track, okay? If you've got a longer track, let's fit the long one. Okay, if you've got a longer track, obviously there's less likelihood of it tipping up, okay? And also if this is on a flat surface. Okay, just things to remember, I always use the clamp just to make sure it's staying steady. That's too heavy the other end. Right, well actually there's not much else I can say really about this little fella, okay? I'm impressed so far. There are better ones, don't get me wrong, this is not the best thing in the whole wide world, but this cost me £34.99, okay? Now a genuine Festool one, which is the FSWA 90, okay, is £119. Now I believe that's bigger, it's slightly wider. I don't think you'll get the issue with these clamp holes, but the basic principle is the same. Also bench dogs do what their version of these, which is very well machined, very well made, and that you can get for about £99. Okay, both of those are premium brands. Okay, this is not a premium brand, but I use my tracksaw every now and again. When I use it, sometimes I just want to make a right angle cut. So this, for me, in my workshop, is going to be perfect, I think. Okay, so for £35, I'm impressed. Things I'm not impressed with is obviously the clamp holes. That was a bit of a foul. But other than that, yeah, I quite like it. So is it worth me getting it? Yes, it is. Right, so that's about it. If I get any problems, I'll let you know. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Can't see me because the top of my head's missing. Okay, and it's just basically a tracksaw rail, if you can see it without the light shining on it. That's no good at all. Can't see that. The profile is very 1, 2, 3. The profile is very